Hey, it's your boy Hendo checking in, though, coming to y'all with another video. Today we got China dumping the US dollar. They don't want it no more. They're not using it no more. They trying to go to a different currency. They want to be the global power, or they want a joint union as a new global power. No more UN, no more US. They want to run shit. So let's get into it. We got people talking about it, but I want to know what your thoughts about it. What does this mean for the black community if the US dollar turns into, let's say, third world money? If the US dollar goes to like $1 is worth 1 cent now, what does this mean for black people? What does this mean for our community? What do we do? Second thing is, what does this mean for the American citizens as a whole? What does this mean for our country? Third thing is this being done on purpose, bro? Do y'all think Trump is crashing it so he can run off to Israel or run off to Venezuela? You know he been giving them money, or all these countries he been helping out. You think they all doing all these crimes? Their plan is to, I don't know why we not arresting them now. I think their plan is to get on. As soon, last day, he ain't even gonna get sworn out of office. He just gonna be on the plane. Like, where's the president? We gotta swear him out. Oh no, he in Israel now. He in Venezuela. He ain't coming back. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Let's get into the video.
What's up, Graham? It's Guys here, and this is absolutely insane. We're in the middle of one of the largest financial shifts in decades, and almost no one's paying attention. For example, the US dollar is having its worst performance in over 50 years. Oil prices are surging, raising the risk of stagflation. And now, for the first time ever in modern history, the United States is starting to lose its dominance on global trade to China. This isn't just a few bad headlines or a rough year in the market either. Major banks like JP Morgan are now warning that the entire global balance of power, trade, and money are starting to shift in a way that could completely reshape how you invest your money over the next decade. That's why we really have to talk about what's actually happening throughout the world order right now, why the US dollar is losing ground faster than most people realize, what this means for your money in 2026, and then finally what you could do about this to profit. Because the people who understand this don't just protect their money, they actually position themselves in a way to benefit from it. Although before we start, as usual, if you appreciate videos like this where I spend an embarrassing amount of time reading through research so that you don't have to, it would mean the world to me if you hit the like button and subscribed if you haven't done that already. Yes, I know this is the millionth time that I've asked, but it does help out tremendously. And as a thank you for doing that, here's a picture of a rock. So thanks so much, and also a big thank you to SoFi for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. Alright, so before we go into what JP Morgan and Vanguard are predicting and what you could do about it, it's first important to understand why their numbers are changing. And it all has to do with something that most people are unaware of, and that would be the changing world order. Now, I know this phrase sounds dramatic, and it's overused by every clickbait headline out there, but here's the reality. Every major shift in the global financial order throughout the last 100 years has produced some of the biggest investment opportunities and the biggest wealth destruction events of the entire generation. And right now, by all measurable metrics, we are in the middle of one. So here's what's happened. As a bit of a background, after World War II, the United States pretty much won the global economy. And critically, the dollar became the world's reserve currency, which is just a fancy way of saying that every other country needed dollars to settle international debts, buy oil, and conduct trade. This system gave the United States what economists call an exorbitant privilege because we were able to run deficits, borrow money very cheaply, print a lot of money, and do all of that because other countries were buying our dollars. They were using it. They were investing in the United States, and so we could be a little reckless, which means fast forward to 2026, where things have changed. As of today, other nations like Brazil, South Africa, Russia, China, the UAE, and so on, known as BRICS, now represent about 45% of global GDP by purchasing power, while Western nations like the United States represent just 30%. Or I guess put more simply, the Western alliance that built the current world order now controls less of the global economy than a coalition that didn't even exist 30 years ago. Why? Well, it all has to do with what's happening to the US dollar. Believe it or not.
I heard him say it's not looking too good. It's a new world order being set into motion. And it's because that US dollar isn't backed by gold, it's been backed by oil. And we've been, ever since everybody's been purchasing our currency, we've been able to print as much as we want to. So we could just make as much money as we want to. We can just print it as we please. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, like he said, that there's a group, the BRICS group, ain't even been around for what, probably 30 years, and it's already surpassing because it's a bunch of people, and it's all the people you probably oppressed too. It's all the people who you sanction and put all these sanctions on. I don't think they're going to be too kind to you guys. I mean, to the United States, us, because of what our government did to them. You know what I mean? Kept them in a perpetual state of poverty. You know what I mean? But I guess we'll see. You let me know what you think in the comments. Let's keep going.
While American politicians were arguing on TV, something historic happened in global finance. China built its own version of SWIFT, the system that controls every international dollar transaction on Earth. It now has 1,183 member institutions across 100 plus countries. It bypasses the US completely. And the countries joining it are not small. We're talking Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Russia, India. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is the biggest financial power shift since 1944. And if you think this doesn't affect your grocery bill, your mortgage, or your retirement fund, stay till the end, because by the time this video is over, you will never look at your wallet the same way again. Before we go any further, if you're someone who actually wants to understand where the global economy is heading before it hits the headlines, subscribe right now, hit that bell, and drop a comment below. Do you think the dollar will still be the world's reserve currency in 2035? Let me know. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with a number that should be on the front page of every financial publication in America, 30%. According to the People's Bank of China, by 2024, nearly 30% of China's entire foreign trade was being settled in yuan, not dollars, yuan. Now compare that to 2010, when that number was essentially zero, less than 1%, 0 to 30 in 15 years. That is not gradual evolution. That is a deliberate, structured, and very well-funded revolution in global finance. And here's why that matters directly to you as an American. The dollar's dominance in global trade is not just a matter of national pride. It is the single biggest reason the United States can run massive deficits, borrow cheaply, and maintain the world's most powerful military. When the world needs dollars to buy oil, commodities, and goods, demand for the dollar stays permanently elevated. That demand is what keeps inflation lower than it should be, keeps Treasury yields manageable, and keeps your borrowing costs from spiraling out of control. The moment that demand seriously softens, the Federal Reserve loses one of its most powerful, invisible tools. And right now that tool is being chipped away, quietly, methodically, transaction by transaction.
So despite the American blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, a Chinese tanker transited it anyways. They successfully called our bluff. I think it's important to remind everyone that you're watching de-dollarization in progress. Oil is being traded in a different currency. America forcing the world to buy oil in USD is why we can print money infinitely. We have enjoyed that privilege for decades thanks to our military, which has been able to impose its will on the rest of the world. That's not the case now. As the world moves away from the US dollar, things like the national debt are going to start mattering. The loss of purchasing power and inflation that comes from just printing money infinitely is going to be turned inward on Americans. Still, though, it's important for us on the left to recognize what de-dollarization means for the American system. It means that the US's ability to monitor, manage, block financial transactions with SWIFT. And if you don't believe me, take it from Marco Rubio saying exactly what I just fucking said. If we don't stop these countries from moving away from the USD, we're not going to be able to stop them from transacting and trading with one another. And that, my friends, is the American gambit given right away. America's gambit is that everyone needs to use the USD so we can control them. And Iran is breaking that control right now.
And I feel like they're walking us right into it, guys. And that's what's pissing me off. It's like, damn, bro, like, bro, why? But I guess we'll see. Maybe it won't be so bad. And I was thinking, like, tell me what y'all think about this. Black Americans have earned their spot globally. I feel like, as far as music, like, we will always be able to, I feel like, in some type of way, bring some type of money back, you know what I mean, to our community. Globally, from the global market, you know what I mean? We're still the most, I wonder will we be protected? Fuck no, it's over. Nah, but y'all let me know what you think in the comments. It's crazy that the ships is like trying to call the bluff, like, oh, you ain't letting us through, you blockade? All right, cool. Blow us up if you want to. Let's see how far you really want to take it. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is all getting too spooky, guys. Too spooky.
The new American dream is to get the hell out the United States, but with American dollars. Now, what do I mean? So the United States dollar is backed by oil. It's not backed by gold. Like back in the day, 1971, Richard Nixon, he actually took the United States off of the gold reserves, which backed the dollar. And now the dollar is backed by oil because of the the Saudi contracts with the oil in the Middle East, in those Gulf states, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and all that, where they produce the oil. Qatar, right, where they got the refineries. And so Trump is trying to prevent the petrodollar collapse. I don't know if prevent is actually the right word. It might be on purpose. We might be moving into a new economic financial order. This is where things are pointing to and aligning with. So if you don't already know Mandarin, speaking Chinese, then you better start learning, because America's on the way to collapse. So my recommendation to young Americans between 18 and 45 years old is to buy a house or like property out in the Caribbean islands, the Dominican Republic, something like that, Venezuela, right? Especially if you know more about South America, Mexico, right? If you're more like, if you don't know much more about Latino, and so you want to get into that. You want to work remotely. You could even go to Europe. Europe is going to be better than America will be in the next, 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years. I'm over here goofing. 5 to 10 months. It's happening faster than ever before. And it's happening fast. So go ahead, get ready, and make your money and get the hell out the USA. I repeat, make your American money and get the hell out the USA. Because if you don't do that now, you're going to be stuck in universal basic income, living in a pod, and eating the bugs. You want to eat the buggies? You want to eat the bugs?
And I just want to pose one more question. Like, how many people you think we got living here in America from other countries that want to see America fall? Like, that is going to be so happy and just want to move back to their country as soon as this bitch fall for everything that America has done to their country. You know what I mean? Like, Cubans for sure, like Venezuelans and even some Mexicans and Europeans and everybody. There's plenty of people, especially Middle Eastern people. They probably are like, ooh, I can't wait for this bitch to fall. I'm gonna take a shit in the street before I get on my plane back home. Type shit. Let me know in the comments if you think we got a lot of people here who's just waiting for the fall. And we got the cartel on our border down there. But it's been a good video. Thank y'all for checking in. If you made it to the end, thank you. I truly appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, hype this video up. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we out.